God cares. He made you on purpose. He made you with a purpose. And your authentic identity rests in his dream for you. You know, I was writing a book, and I had written it one way from one point of view, and then I wrote it from another point of view, and the Holy Spirit challenged me. He said, "Why don't you write it from my point of view?" I was like, "Ooh, that's going to take some time," because the book was essentially walking through my life and saying, here's where I saw evidence that God had gone before me, and that God was coming behind me and picking up everything I had missed and bringing it into each moment. And so it was going through all of these different things that seemed inconsequential, but were actually God providing and making promise and giving me what I needed, not necessarily for that moment, but for another moment up ahead. And so looking at that and looking at it from his perspective, so I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do that. I'll sit down and I will write this from your perspective. I'm still working on it. But here's what was interesting. He didn't start, when I was old enough to think I had a purpose. When he started telling me my story from his perspective, he started before I was ever even conceived. He went all the way back to before he ever said, "Let there be light." And here's what he said. He said, "Anisha, before I ever created all of this, I had a dream. And there were dreams within the dream. And you were one of those dreams. And I knew exactly when you needed to be born, where you needed to be born. I knew when I needed to place you and what you needed to fulfill everything in that dream. Before I ever said, 'Let there be light,' I walked the fullness of the journey of your life. Even when that journey led you in directions I would have preferred you not go. And I went and I stood in every single moment. And I looked around and I watched and I saw them play out. And I said, this is what she's going to need here. And I put it in that place. Or I put it in a space beforehand to make sure you had it. Because there were times when you were going to go through things and all the promise and provision you needed was there, but you didn't pick it up. And I saw that too. And so I was gathering it up and bringing it into the next moment and the next moment until you finally got it. Because when you finally got it was when you really needed it. And he said, I went through and I walked the journey of your life. I felt the pain and the joy. I felt the love and the passion. I saw the things that would break and crush your heart and the things that would give you strength. And I provided support all along the way and wove it in and wove it through. And he said, and I know the end because I lived it before you were ever conceived, before you were ever a thought in anyone's mind. You were a thought in mine. And I dreamed my dream. And then when you were conceived, that's when the fun began for me. I joined you in your mother's womb. My hands knit you together and formed and fashioned you. And in that place, in that secret place, where it was just me and you, I sang my love song to you. I told you the dream of my heart for you. Minute by minute, hour by hour, as I knit and wove and put you together, I was speaking identity. I was weaving in strengths and talents and gifts. I was speaking the dream of my heart into yours. I was releasing passion and purpose and identity. Everything you needed to live the life you were created to live, I put into you in those moments. And those moments were precious to me. I delighted in every one of them. Every cell in your body is imprinted with who I created you to be and the dream of my heart for you. Even if you're not awake to it yet, even if you don't see it yet, even if you haven't stepped into it yet, it was all there as I formed and fashioned you. And I delighted to bring you into the world. Because in bringing you into the world, a piece of the dream of my heart was born. Folks, that's identity. That's purpose. And here's the kicker. Yes, he said that to me as I was writing and showed this to me. I saw it. It was amazing. But he did the same for you. You may look yourself in the eyes every day and say it was an accident, I was unwanted, and that's a lie. In human eyes and societal standards, maybe, but not from the perspective of the God who dreamed you before you were ever conceived. He matches his chosen dream with his chosen dreamer, and you can rest assured that God himself has a dream for you and a purpose for your life that you will fulfill. And he wants to help you fulfill. But more than that, it's in you. It's dancing in your DNA. Identity, purpose, passion, values, they dance in your DNA to the song that he sings uniquely over you. You know, in Zephaniah, it says that he rejoices over you with singing. Let that sink in for a minute. He rejoices over you with singing. The song that he sang over you in the womb is unique to you. It's only for you. The overflow of that song is for everyone else. Everything you need, every strength, every talent, every gift, it's already living in you. You already have the capacity and the capability you need to see the dream of God's heart come to pass in your life. Even if you don't know him yet, even if you're not walking with him yet, all of that capacity, all of that potential is in there. The fullness of that identity that is loved and valued and cherished and was before you were even conceived. It's all in there. Learning to live in alignment with that identity. Learning to tell the same story about who you are that God tells about you. That's stepping into identity. That's stepping into truth. That's stepping into who you are and who you were made to be. And it's beautiful. Who you were made to be is incredibly beautiful. And you living that life, you discovering that identity, the one that's already knit into you, that you making that discovery, no matter how old or young you are, it's important. You matter. Your identity matters. Who God created you to be matters. How you show up matters. And it's not too late. You haven't missed it. God is a God of acceleration. If there are things behind you, just like I said, if there are things behind you that you missed, He's going to bring it all forward into this moment. And we've all got patterns that hold us back. We've all got patterns that keep us tied to that old identity, to someone we aren't anymore. That's why we're doing this course, to help you cut those ties and cut off those patterns and repattern your life after the dream of His heart for you. That's the purpose of this course, is to help you live life in alignment with that.